And now I'm learning that if I just stay present, when I start to kind of go off and then I get anxious and I worry and blah, 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 all those things, if I just pull myself back and say, hey, bitch, please, like,
Yeah.
stay present, everything will happen in the right time. Just trust that. Trust all of that.
Welcome back to In the Blink, the podcast where we explore the moments that change us, the losses that shape us, and the unexpected openings that help us see life and ourselves more clearly. Today, I'm honored to sit with someone whose journey mirrors so much of my own path through vision, loss, grief, and awakening. Jamie Estelle Roth, author of Should Have Seen That Coming, went through the terrifying and disorienting experience of losing her central vision. And in the middle of that darkness, she found something extraordinary, a connection to intuition, spirit, ancestral healing, and a deeper version of herself than she ever expected to meet. Her story is messy, human, hilarious, sacred, and ultimately deeply hopeful. We're going to talk about soul contracts, spiritual sight, trauma as a teacher, angels, mushrooms, lineage, and what it means to rebuild your life, not despite loss, but through it. Jamie, I'm so grateful that you're here.
Yay! I'm so happy to be here. Thank
Um,
you.
it's so great to have you. I was loving this book for so many reasons, and
Good.
at times it made me laugh out loud, and at times it made me cry, and I related just so much through it.
Yeah.
But I thought we should start for our listeners, just a brief recap of what physically happened to, and then we'll go into the spiritual journey.
Fantastic. Okay, so the nuts and bolts of it is I woke up one morning with a dark spot in my left eye, and over the course of 3 months, I went from just this little spot in my left eye that no one else could see but me to complete darkness in that eye. It was like a bucket of dirty water had filled that eyeball, and the right eye was fine, but it also started to fail, almost like a shade was coming down, because I had 3 flare-ups of diverticulitis within those 3 months, and the last flare-up was a perforated colon. Super fun. And by the end of, so in April 2021, the spot showed up. And by end of June 2021, I was legally blind and had severe colon issues
Mm.
due to the diverticulitis and the perforation. And then my journey began. My life completely changed. Ta-da!
And where is
So,
your vision at today?
so I did have surgery on the left eye. So it's called a vitrectomy. So they take the vitreous jelly out of your eyeball and replace it with saline jelly. It's kind of weird, but it helped bring light back into that eye, which is amazing. And then I have peripheral vision kind of on the left eye. I have way more on the right eye. I have central vision obscurity. That's really the optic nerve, because my official diagnosis is optic neuropathy.
Mm.
So I have central vision obscurity, which is getting smaller. I mean, I don't know about you, but like I have markers for certain things. So I have less obscurity, is my point. But what really obscures my vision is not any of that. It's this thing I call the veil, which it's like if you imagine a blank etch-a-sketch adhered to your eyeballs, pipe in glitter, liquid, and some little black fibers. That is what I have to look through to see anything. So I can see items in a room, I can see the shapes, I can see colors, but I can't tell you details. So if you were to have, like makeup under your eye, I couldn't tell you, unfortunately. Sorry.
And you have a veil over both eyes.
Yes. Yeah. It was like it just went and suctioned to my eyeballs,
Okay.
and it went into a different lot of things.
And ultimately, they think, well, we'll get into a lot more of this, but your
Yeah.
body was just kind of freaking out in general.
Yeah.
And your eyes were
She
right.
was not happy. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And now I know in the book you mentioned that you would see different images in your eyes. Do you still see those
Yes.
images?
So I do not see the boobs anymore. And I'm telling you, it was so weird because I literally woke up one day and before it was just the fibers floating around. And then all of a sudden it was like a sketch. It wasn't even like a hologram or a hallucination. Excuse me. It was more of like the fibers were showing me different shapes and sizes of women's breasts. And I just thought, what the hell is happening? Why? And they were literally like all up in my face. It was so strange. Anyway, then the animal eyes showed up and the human eyes and all the other stuff. To this day, the boobs are gone, but the eyes still show up all the time. Even while we're doing this interview, they're popping in and out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That is
know.
crazy. And maybe the
It's
ultimate manifestation of the third eye. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I actually came to this realization recently, and when I narrated the audiobook, which is a feat in itself and awesome, so grateful, I realized, because I asked many, many people, like, what is it? I asked psychics, I asked healers, like, tell me what the eyes mean.
No.
And I heard everything from, oh, it's blind people looking at you and praying. It's people praying for you. It's spirits, it's souls, it's people that have passed. Some of the eyes I recognized, some I did not. But what I came to this realization just myself, which was the point, right, is that I'm being seen and I'm seeing others.
Mm,
So it's not even about me or anybody else, it's a collective.
no.
It's because we don't actually see each other.
Yeah.
We look at each other, but we don't see each other. So I think that that's something so profound and beautiful.
Mm. Yes. Okay, we're gonna get, I think, more into that.
Yes.
I wanted to talk, like, one of the things that struck me the most in your book was when you talked about soul contracts. And for
Yeah.
me, this was a pivotal point in my healing journey when I think this was the quote you used. What if this wasn't happening to me, but for me?
Yes.
And can you walk us into that moment you first wondered whether your soul might have chosen this path?
Oh my gosh. I get chills with even the question. So, and I love the question. Thank you.
Mm.
I I went down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out what the hell happened and how to fix it because I was always in a masculine energy. And so everything was about fixing and doing. And I was being somewhat strong armed into touching base with my feminine energy. And with that, I went down the rabbit hole of different books and healers and people that were into energy healing. And one of those people was Caroline Myss.
Mm.
She wrote the book Anatomy of the Spirit and quite a few others. She also wrote one called Soul Contracts.
Mm.
And so when I read her book, it clicked in my head. I was like, holy shit, maybe this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And other books I listen to too. When you listen to a book or you hear someone speak and you go, wait, this sounds so silly to say out loud, but that totally resonates with me. Like, I get it. And then you get this like recognition of what it means to you. So I listened to a few books, including Caroline Mace's, and I was like, oh my God, my soul knew before I was coming down here as a human in the human body that it had to do something really big, right? And
Yep.
it was going to be hard and I was going to be okay. I was going to struggle. I was going to suffer. I was going to be really angry, but that wasn't going to last. And ultimately, it was all going to be about love of myself and those around me that are helping me to help me, get to the next level of where I'm supposed to be in the afterlife. It sounds kind of crazy saying out loud, but that's what it was. And so as I sat there and I guess I can equate it to like, and I didn't know it at the time when I was there, but when I was in the hospital, I was by myself. I was so mad. And I thought to myself, well, if I wasn't here, everybody would be okay, and that lasted for a half a second.
Wow.
And then I thought, no, I want to be here. I want to be here for the big moments of my kids' lives. I want to be here for the graduations and the babies and the weddings and all the things, right? Hopefully it's the weddings before the babies. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And my kids are too young to have kids right now. But anyway, but more importantly, I wanted to be there for the in-between moments, those small moments where my almost 18-year-old is helping me sign in for a podcast, right? Or we get to drive and get coffee together, or I have a FaceTime call with my daughter. Like those kinds of things are way more important. And through this whole process, I realized that I have contracts with everyone that comes into my life.
Mhm.
They may be short, they may be long, they may be ones I've had with them for many lifetimes. And it's flipping beautiful to have that vision to look at, right? And to see. So
Yes.
does that answer your question?
It does. It does.
Okay, good.
And
Yay.
just to so many more. Do you believe, why do you think your soul chose blindness?
Oh God. I used to think that when all of it first happened, I thought I deserved it.
Mm.
Like, well, I must not have prayed hard enough or listened, or my spirit was screaming at me, like, please take care of yourself. Something is going to happen. And I asked a friend of mine, I was like, God, why did this happen to me? And she's like, well, if it wasn't this, it would have been something else, right?
Yeah.
You needed to shift. You were not shifting. You were not listening.
Mm.
You were not seeing the signs that were right in front of you, whatever they were, right? Whether it was I was going, I was putting on a lot of masks to
Mm.
hide what was going on inside. And so I needed to let go of those masks and be my true self. And I wasn't doing that.
Um,
So I think it comes down to I wasn't seeing my true self. I wasn't allowing myself to be seen. And I knew that when all of this now, I mean, I know that now, but then I didn't. But now I'm like, oh, I get it. Like, this won't last forever. And if it does, then that's okay
yeah.
because I'm so much better and I'm a better listener, a better friend. I love myself more than I've ever loved myself, and not in a like, I'm so amazing kind of way, but more of a, like, I think all of us should love ourselves for who we are.
Mm.
And if there are things you want to change, then look inside and listen to your spirit. She's got a lot of really cool things to tell you.
Do
Does
you?
that make sense?
It totally makes sense. There's so much in there that
Good.
makes so much sense.
Yes, yes.
Do you think, is there still a possibility that your sight could return to normal?
So I instinctively think that there is, or not think, I instinctively know that there is a chance.
Yeah.
My doctors do not
Yeah.
because they don't know what caused it. They don't know why it happened. I mean, thankfully, Western medicine saved my life with the perforated colon and the surgery. And, they gave me enough meds to quell the inflammation in my optic nerve, which was great. But my official diagnosis is really idiopathic optic neuropathy.
Mhm.
There's really no explanation.
Mm.
And because I've seen some changes for
Mm.
the better,
Mm.
then that's why I put in my head. But I have to watch myself because I tend to fixate on it a little bit,
Mm.
or I did in the beginning. And now I'm learning that if I just stay present, when I start to kind of go off and to, like la la land with all of it, and then I get anxious and I worry and blah, 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 all those things. If I just pull myself back and say, hey, bitch, please. Like,
Yeah.
stay present. Everything will happen in the right time. Just trust that. Trust all of that.
Mm.
So, yeah, so that's my answer.
Such a good reminder for all of us. And I can see I would do the same thing. If there was a chance
Yeah,
I could get my vision back, I would fixate on it. It'd be hard
right.
to do. Yeah.
Well, and I think too that, medical technology and advances happen every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how many years ago, like there was not the medication that I needed to help quell the inflammation. If
Yeah.
we were going through this, 100 years ago, we would probably die.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there would be, or you would just have a patch over your eye,
Right.
and that would be it, right? You wouldn't have the prosthetic
Right.
eyeball and all that stuff. So I think that that's what we have to take into account. Like maybe it's not in my lifetime, but maybe my situation can help somebody else, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like we're not paying it forward, but we're all part of the puzzle of life.
Yes. Yes. I love that.
Yeah. Whoops.
One of the things I resonated with, and again, there were so many, were that you believe angels show up for you. And I
Oh
truly believed that in my journey as well. And
yeah.
one of the things you talked about that was like so interesting to me was cranial sacral therapy.
Oh.
And after my accident, I had this cranial sacral therapist showing up at my house once or twice a week. And
My God.
I asked her who sent her, and she said, God. I still don't
Shut
know
up.
where she came from. I
Oh,
laid on my
chills.
and she just worked wonders on me, and I would feel better afterwards. And then she would like this
God.
me to the ether.
My
So,
God, Megan, seriously?
yes. And so it was just so interesting reading about your angels. And
Yes.
I was wondering if you could talk to us a little bit about the angels that showed up for you.
Oh my God. Well, they show up all the time. I have to ask them because they just hang out in their waiting room or
Yeah.
whatever. But I think that they show up not in ethereal form all the time, right? And in my mind's, I see my angels as beautiful color,
Mm.
right? They don't have wings. I mean, I'm sure they love it. They don't have wings,
Yeah.
but they're able to move faster than an angel with wings, right? And I know that I've asked them to be around me, but not so much in that form.
Mm.
Angels have shown up in human form, right? Like the nurse that brought me into my mom, and my friend Kat, who introduced me to my cranial sacral therapist, who was a woman that did it up in her house in the Northern California area, the Bay Area, and they bought a house down here, and she was just doing it kind of on the side. And my friend Kat had gone to her and said, "You should probably go see her." She was one of the first healers I went to,
Mm.
and she wasn't afraid of my crazy exorcism twitching that happened due to all the steroids. And I was like, I was in the, and she played angel music,
Mm.
which was crazy. So she was super in tune with her. So I feel like they showed up in the form of, in the, like the human form or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yes, totally.
they're
People are like,
angels.
well, yes, they showed up as people, really.
Yeah. And like almost like I have, because I'm so, what's the word? Like, literal, I guess. My brain likes to go, oh, but this could be this, and what about this? So what I envision is my angels are talking to their angels, and they're like, hey, my girl needs some help, and you're the perfect person, angel. Can we get your person to come over and help this gal? And so that's what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Because I think subconsciously we're always asking our angels to help us.
Mm.
And there might be times when we aren't, and that's when we're trying to fix and do. And if we just said, hey, I could use a little help. Can you help me with this? And see what happens.
Yeah.
And you'll be beautifully surprised.
Yeah. Cranial sacral therapy was one of the therapies you mentioned. And
Hmm.
well, side note, does it, when you leave, do you still find an improvement in your vision?
Not really. What I do feel though is calmness. Like
Mm.
my body, my nervous system is less frenetic. I feel a sense of peace always. And like there's another layer to this healing, right? It's not just about the seeing better, it's about what's happening within my body and my spirit.
Mm.
Just hopefully that makes sense. And I keep asking, does that make sense? Only because I can't see your facial expression.
I know, and I love that you're doing that. And I'm like, it makes so much sense. It makes everything
Okay, good, good,
so
good,
much
good,
sense.
good.
So, and no, we're kind of, to the listener, we're both kind of doing this blind. Like when I take my glasses off, I can't see her. And so we're really listening to each other's voices.
So
Um,
hopefully we don't look weird when you see
right,
the video.
right. We'll make sure she has lipstick on her teeth or what.
Totally.
So I think this is what you called it in the book, was the woo woo world. And it's funny
Oh,
to use those
yes.
words because that's what I've been calling it too. But what did you find in the woo woo modalities that you couldn't find
Mm.
in our traditional Western medicine? And I know you benefited from both, but
Yeah.
what did you gain from these woo woo?
Oh my gosh. Well, the first thing that comes through for me is that it's not clinical.
Yeah.
Right? Because in the hospital, it's so clinical and they're so rigid. I mean, they need to have a bedside manner, of course, but, and some do, but I feel like it's just, it's so clinical on the East Western medicine side. And with the woo woo stuff or the energy healing, the, not the spiritual component, but like just that whole modality, the different modalities within energy healing or Eastern medicine, there's like this love, this like
Mm.
all-encompassing love that you get from each of the practitioners. And I think it's also this kind of intense connection energetically with the person, because I mean it's more, they're seeing more of you and feeling more of you than anyone,
Mm.
right?
Totally.
I don't know, do you get that too?
Yes, it's kind of an exchange. I often think this,
Yeah.
and even when I was younger, I got a massage. I always thought like it's sort of an exchange of love and energy. And I was wondering if
Yes.
I was weird for thinking that. But as this evolution has happened, it totally makes sense. And there's no way it's not happening. I've noticed that.
Yeah, no, and that's, and it takes not, I don't want to say special people, but like it takes a really kind of, it takes a person who can hold that, right?
Mm.
Who can hold space like that. And I have met, or have heard of, actually I haven't met them, but I've heard of practitioners that think that they can and they cannot. You get like a weird
A weird vibe.
vibe from them.
Yeah.
I'm way better at trusting my gut and my instinct, my intuition, way more than I was before.
I was going to
I mean,
ask you
before,
about that. Have you grounded into
yeah,
that more? And some people might
uh-huh,
call that the third eye, but since
yeah.
losing your central vision, is that more attuned?
100%. But on the flip side, I also have a huge curiosity issue.
Yes.
So, not issue, but I have a lot of curiosity. So, my girlfriend who's a psychic medium, I was telling her that I went to go see this other person who did Reiki, and I'd met her like the day before, and she saw me at an event and called to say, I want to give you a treatment or whatever, a session. And I was like, yes, please, right? Because I'm all in because I love them so much. And it was okay. It wasn't fantastic. I have been to some pretty amazing Reiki masters and gotten a lot of treatments or such whatever treatments, whatever they're called. And I told my girlfriend, she's like, "Will you please stop giving your energy out to everybody?"
Mm,
I was like, "Oh shit, you're right. I might be doing that."
break.
And I think it was like this way of wanting to support this person, but you have to really discern like who do you feel connected with? And it's
Yeah.
okay to say no if you don't feel connected with another person or to
Yeah.
walk away if it doesn't feel right.
That's so
So,
interesting. And I noticed
yeah,
that in your book, there were maybe a couple times where you kind of went into a situation, you're like, what have I gotten myself into?
girl.
Which I related to well,
Oh,
because you're kind of desperate in the beginning, right? And
yes.
looking for any
Yes.
sort of hope.
Yes, I wanted somebody to heal me. Like, fix this, help me, right? Because I don't want to help my damn self. Somebody's got to do this for me,
Totally.
right? So, yeah, no, the Cambo was hilarious.
The
I wish I
which
would have
one?
videotaped it.
The which
Oh, Cambo, the frog poison.
Oh my gosh. Yes. And that was the one I was laughing out loud reading about. And the different burn holes and then the sickness. And then you didn't even get your nap, which I felt
No, dude.
like you totally
No.
got gypped in that.
Yes. I was so mad.
You
Well, and the guy sitting next to me, the really nice recovering addict, he was literally as far, like a foot away from me as he's puking in his
oh my
puke
God.
bucket. And I thought to myself, I can't even get up and leave. Oh my God, I'm super stuck here. Yes, I had to turn I like literally face the opposite direction, closing my eyes, trying to find my right? It was all,
Oh my
while I'm
God.
listening to Frog in the Amazon music.
Totally.
And yeah, no, it was amazing. And my friend got the best laugh. And I left there so high off the tobacco. It was awesome. It was great.
Well, it
It was
felt
great.
like you left right after it happened
Yes.
for you, which didn't
Yeah, they're like, okay, get the fuck out. Bye.
seem fair.
It's like, this is amazing. Thank you. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Would I do it again? No, I would not.
No,
So,
okay. That's what you won't be trying again.
yeah, no. I mean, it might work for some, but not for this girl.
Not for you. Well, I
No.
wanted to talk to you about the mushroom ceremony you did. Was it psilocybin?
Oh, okay. So that was more of like a breath work microdosing. Is that the one you're talking about? Because
Yeah.
I did MDMA as well.
Okay, yes. And MDMA, yes. Which
Yes.
seemed like a
So the
really lovely experience, the MDMA for you.
girl,
At a total break.
that was, yes, yes. So the microdosing was good. It was more of like it was my first time doing any psychedelic. So I thought I was super fancy pants sitting in this room with all these people and I was going to have this I didn't know what to expect to be honest with you. And I just really was attuned to the music playing and her didgeridooing was fantastic. It was so great. And I laughed so hard because my girlfriend, side note, my friend that I went with, who also took me to the Cambo thing, she loves, excuse me, a didgeridoo. And she was like, yeah, one time I got double didgeridooed in my face. And I was like, my little teenage boy in my body was laughing so hard. So anyway, it was a psilocybin. It was in a tea, I think, form, like I mentioned, and it was good. It was only like, I think, I mean, it wasn't, what's the normal like microdosing, like point one or whatever, 1 gram. I think I had five. So I felt it, but it wasn't life changing for me.
Yeah.
So the MDMA, absolutely. Absolutely.
Tell us more about the MDMA experience.
So I, again, was nervous, never did it before. And I took the medicine kind of like when you go into, I don't know about you, but when you go into these experiences and I didn't think it was going to heal my eyesight, but I was so curious. It's all a curiosity. Like,
That,
what is this going to do for me? And I went in kind of naive. I didn't research it. I didn't ask people about it. I just was going to do it. I didn't care.
yeah.
Right? I'm going to jump off that cliff you tell me to jump off. I'm going to do it with a swan dive. It's going to be great. So I went in, did the whole intentions kind of ceremony that she does. Then I laid down after taking the medicine, and I was a little nauseous at first because it can upset your stomach.
Yeah.
But I talked myself down, right? Because I'm really good at like, don't throw up, don't throw up. You're going to have to get up. You can't see where the toilet is. You're going to miss it.
Yeah.
So, you got to be careful. So
Yeah.
I talked myself down, and then it was almost like my body needed to talk.
Mm,
Like she had a lot to say.
Ron.
So my guide was sitting next to me, and she said to me in the beginning, she's like, okay, I'll let you do this. You're going to be in the medicine for the first half, and then I'm going to take the headphones off and I'll ask you questions about like to kind of pull some stuff out of you. And I was like, okay. So I was anticipating that. But then I felt like I needed to just speak. And so I recorded the entire thing. And the first thing that came out of my mouth, because I feel like it was my subconscious and my spirit speaking to me. And mind you, I'm on a psychedelic, so I'm tapping into, as I just listened to one of your podcasts with the gentleman who talked about mescaline and psilocybin and all of that stuff.
Yes.
I did tap into those, right? That guy was amazing.
He's totally
Um,
amazing. He's also like an angel, I feel like. And
okay, I need to come to Colorado. That's happening. But I tapped into this other part of my brain, right? And it allowed me to take my conscious mind and my ego out of it. And
mm,
that's what the drug does, right? It takes away the fear and your ego. And so what my body and my spirit, my guides, my angels were all telling me, and the first thing that came out of my mouth was, I can see. I can see.
mm,
I can see. Now, I couldn't see physically, like in the real world within my body.
yeah.
All I saw was the veil, and the eyes just kept popping in and out, and the veil. And I was like, God dang it. Why can't I thought for sure in this journey, this MDMA journey, I would see like visions and things, like I would see things in 3D and it would be amazing. And that did not happen. I was so sad. But on the flip side, it was this knowing.
Yeah.
And that's what it was showing me. Like, you don't have to see what you just know it. And I think we don't listen to that part of us. So when I was in it, that's what came through. And then it was a matter of like 5.5 hours of me consistently talking,
Mm,
which is hilarious and pretty common. And then she said, like, normally people do talk through the whole thing. And I was like, oh, okay. She goes, I have never seen somebody actually channel and ask their subconscious or whoever a question and get an answer back. So, for instance, I saw past lives. I saw 3 past lives, which was amazing.
wow.
I asked my body
What'd you see in those
what,
past lives?
oh my God. So the first one was I was a young girl, and it was like I felt like it was the 14th century,
Mm,
and I was in a forest and I was leaning against a tree, and nobody was around me. It was just me. And I had just given birth to a baby boy, and all the afterbirth was still there. I was holding the baby boy. I could see his hair color. It was black. And I was assuring him, like, we were going to be okay. We're going to be okay, because we were either exiled from our home or I had to leave so he wouldn't be killed or whatever.
look.
So there was that. And it was almost like, I've heard from some people or read that it's like they're looking through the eyes of the person that they are. I feel like I'm looking at the person from a distance, and I'm watching myself in this lifetime and how it's going,
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So the second one, I was a Vietnamese man sitting, like kind of squatting as I'm sitting there watching my kids play and wrestle around. My wife is there, and it's the late 60s. And I know that things are going to change
Mm,
for my family. Vietnam was happening.
Yeah.
And that's crazy because now that I think about it, duh, I was born in 1969.
Wow.
So some people say, oh, you know, live multiple lives and, you know, past lives, blah, blah, blah. But then they also, I've heard, and I kind of am, you know, moving towards this theory that there's no past. We're all living in just different timelines,
Mm,
right? They're happening simultaneously.
yeah.
And so that's possible, right? And then sometimes they merge or whatever. So, and then the third one was I was a woman during the Roman times and the biblical times. Jesus was walking to his crucifixion, and I was a jerk and threw things at Jesus
Oh,
as he walked. And so I, in this MDMA journey, said out loud, as I'm telling this, like what I'm seeing out loud, right? And then I realized, like, oh my gosh, I go, oh my gosh, I threw stones at Jesus.
oh, wow.
And Jesus responded in my voice, yeah, you did. And I said, oh my, I'm so sorry. Can you ever forgive me? And he responded with, of course I can forgive you. I love you. So, you know, that was fascinating.
Yeah.
And then I also had some, which I didn't obviously share in the book, but what came through, I saw my kids as
Mhm.
adults. So I saw them with their children. I couldn't see their faces, but I knew that they had how many kids they had, that they were happy, that they had continued to stay together as a family and have holidays together, and they were super close. And I was just so full of joy and happiness because of that. And then oh shoot, wait. I saw them. They were together. Oh, and I had said each time, like, I have, you know, three babies. I have three babies. And then a voice, mine, but not mine, right?
Yeah.
Said, you were pregnant 4 times. And I was like, wait, what? And the voice said, I think I asked, how
Mm.
old was I? And it responded with, you were 16. And I was like, oh my God, did I have an abortion? No, I didn't have an abortion. Did I miscarry? And the response back was, yes, you miscarried.
And
And
did you remember
and
this happening?
what?
Did you remember this happening?
Not at the time, but then a flashback memory hit me, and I was like, oh my God, I remember being 16. I was dating this guy. Of course, I was a little promiscuous, right? And he wasn't the one, obviously. And I remember not getting my period for like
Mm.
almost 10 days and freaking out and talking myself off the cliff, like, oh, it's fine. I'm not going to take a pregnancy test. It'll be okay. I'm sure it's just stress. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh shit, what if it is? Right? My
Uh,
life is completely going to change. And then I got my period, and the message from my spirit or subconscious, whoever, right, was basically that miscarriage was to remind you to be careful and
Mhm.
to love yourself, and don't give away what is yours,
Mm,
and be careful
yeah.
with who you choose. So anyway, it was fascinating.
Back to that theme of not giving your energy away, right? To anyone. And the lesson it takes time to learn and think. Bro.
Girl, totally. So much. And I'm still learning it, right?
Yeah.
I still do things because my curious brain goes, but wait,
Well,
there's this psychic reader in this crystal store that's only $20. And you need to know if he's saying consistent messages that the other ones say, the 12 that you've already talked to,
to-
you know? So it's true. And I'm learning. I'm way better than I was. And I think for anyone out there, when they feel like icky when they're around people, they need to pull in their energy and release anybody else's, right?
oh, yeah.
So they don't take on someone else's stuff.
So good. Yes. Yes. You mentioned your boyfriend at 16. And
Yeah.
I remember reading that part in the book, and that overall, this central vision loss has caused you to
Mm,
confront a lot of your past
yeah.
and your lineage. And do you think
Yeah.
that that was one of the purposes of losing your sight, was to go back and revisit some of those things and reveal truth? Or what do you think that was all?
So it's funny, not funny that you say that. I love that you asked that, because as you asked that question, and I'm just saying this because I'm way more in tune with my body and the signs that I get from spirit and from my guides, whoever's around me, right?
Um,
So when you asked that question, my entire body got chills.
mm,
So yes. So they're telling me like, yes, yes, right?
yeah.
I feel like for all of us, there are things that happen in our lives if we're not centered, if we're not present. And a lot of people aren't because they're not taught that as a child. Maybe they're a little more in tune as they get older. It's facing this so different way of thinking than the mainstream world and being okay with it and not letting others tell you how to be. I think that there's something to that. So, yes, I believe that there was a reason for this. And I do mention it in the book at the end, the last chapter, about the vision that I saw of me in the hospital with the four figures.
Wow.
That completely solidified that I knew this was going to happen, but I knew it before I was even born. And then I was like, oh, but you're going to forget everything and you're going to have to deal with this. And all the things that have happened and if I think back, there are so many signs that I missed or that I didn't want to see because it was too hard or it wasn't where I thought I needed to be. But everything that has happened to me has happened exactly how it's supposed to. We just have choice. So I made choices. I had to pivot a little bit. My guardian angel was like, hold on, baby, I'm going to move you over here. I'm going to guide you over here. And so she would connect me with somebody that would help me do that.
Yeah.
Or I would, my spirit would be like, hey, listen, maybe this isn't the right place to be and you need to leave. And
Yeah.
so then I would listen. But other times I didn't, right? So
Yeah.
I do think that it does play a part. Everything that happens to us, whether it's, you have a motorcycle accident and you lose your eye, you have cancer, you have MS, you have all these things. Those are things that are given to us because we can handle them.
Mm.
We can handle it. We can show ourselves how strong we are and also how fragile we are.
Mm.
And it's touching on your vulnerability and your connection with people. And, some people who go through stuff, they might not be able to do it. Maybe that's their lesson, is to learn how to struggle and be okay, or how to surrender. And maybe they can't, and their life trajectory takes a different path. And, they choose an exit that's different, or they get depressed or whatever. Everybody has their own story, their own journey, and there's reasons behind it that I can't even explain.
Yeah. You said something in the
So,
book. I think it was something to the effect of this allowed you to have the full experience of being human. And I think that is part of this soul contract that we made before we came here in these
mhm,
physical forms.
yeah.
And maybe we said, hey, I want the full human experience. So
Yeah.
crack
And
me open a little bit.
thanks. Yeah. Thanks, universe.
Yeah.
Like, I think I've done it enough, right? No, it's true. And just so you know, Megan, you and I had a conversation before we were born saying, hey, we're going to get introduced by Emily. We're both going to have podcasts and, we're going to have eye issues. And so, knuckles to you, babe. We're going to make it,
Totally.
down in the
Yeah.
world.
I love that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got
Yeah.
tears to my eyes. I love that so much.
Oh, but I find it so true. Like, I look at it that way. I think, I could be super sad and wallow in my sadness and curl up in a ball and all of that stuff, but I'm not like that. That's not how I'm made up. That's not who I choose to be in this lifetime.
Mm.
I feel like you're the same. You went through some horrific stuff, and look at you, babe. I mean, you're nailing it, right? You're doing this amazing podcast. You have a nonprofit. You're an amazing mom
Mm.
and friend and just person that you're helping others through your tragedy. And I feel like that's the gift that we've been given. As weird as it sounds, it's this beautiful blessing of being able to see
Mm.
differently and more clearly, if anything.
Yeah.
I mean, would I love to see my children's faces? 100%. It makes me so sad to know that I can't see my almost 18-year-old's face. The last time I saw it, he was 13.
Mm.
Very different, right?
Totally. Yes.
But what's been so beautiful is I've been able to get to know him on a higher level and
Mm.
see him for who he truly is, which is this beautiful, funny, just smart and loving soul. He's so all through all of my friends and
Oh,
family, and they're all amazing.
yes.
But that's been the beauty of all of this. And I mean, have you gotten that too?
Yes. Well, I just got full body chills. I was just thinking, like, if whoever comes and speaks to our souls before we get here, said to us,
Yeah.
hey, I'm going to give you this chance where you're going to be able to get to know your kid on
Oh,
a soul spiritual level, but you're going to lose something.
Mhm.
100%
Yeah.
think most of us would sign up for it, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I totally agree. Like I've seen beautiful parts of my son I never would have seen had this not happened, you know? So
Right.
yeah.
Right. Because I do feel like, especially as women and moms, we're constantly in motion,
Yeah.
right? And we might look back at videos. Like I listen, and I can see a little bit of the videos of my kids when they were little. And in my dreams, my kids are little, right? But there are moments where they're of age and their age they are now. And I think we forget because we're trying to do, be, and we're not just sitting and listening and watching and seeing our children and our families and ourselves.
Yeah.
That's the biggest one. Like I look in the mirror, I can't see my face, but I remind her how beautiful she is.
Oh,
Not because of what she looks like, because I might have shit all over my face, but of who I've become
yeah.
in this moment of, some call it tragedy. I call it a beautiful mess and surrender.
Surrender.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. So there's just did you speak me
Sorry.
three things I want to go back to about me wanting
Of
to talk
course.
about surrender, but I also wanted to talk
Yes.
about there was
I don't have Kleenex, so I can't cry.
I know. Girls, I don't either. I don't have any blue clothes.
Oh my God, I'll use my sleeve.
But you talk about you were healed and then you could heal others. And
Mm.
you were speaking to somebody who I think you used the phrase you were able to hold space for.
Oh, yeah.
They could really, your aura was giving off a light
Yeah.
that it maybe didn't have before. I mean, we don't know, but this healing journey has then allowed you to heal others around you. And that was another like aha for me. I thought that was so
Yeah.
beautifully explained.
Thank you.
Yes. Can you go into that a little bit?
So I do hope that that happens. I mean, of course, I don't know unless people obviously tell me.
Yeah.
And I have to be completely transparent. Like, I will tell people, like, I don't feel like a healer or a psychic or any of that stuff. With that being said, there is a knowing
Yeah.
that I remind myself we all have it. I'm tapping into it because I want to, first of all.
Yeah.
And because I've been given this gift of time to really, tap into it, I guess, right? Because before I wouldn't have, I had it. We all have it. I didn't listen. So yeah, I feel like the holding the space was a new word to me or a new phrase.
Yeah. It's a
And
priest of the Hulu community. So it's like,
oh, totally. I swear to God, it's a super blonde thing to do, but I thought it was like an air hug. I'm like, I'm gonna hold this space for you. Cool, I can do that, right? But then as I went along on this journey and met more people and saw how they related to me and how what I was saying, because I'm now speaking from my heart, I'm not just speaking out of my ass, which is, sorry, which is kind of where I was. I was speaking from this part of my throat.
yeah.
Like I took breaths from here. I didn't take a breath from my belly because I was so like my energy was like, oh, right, so frenetic.
Yeah.
And now that I've had a moment or, 4.5 years moments of really calming down, I'm finding that it's easier for me to just listen and to hold space for people.
Yeah.
It's really just listening, right? And being grounded
Yeah.
for them because I know many women that are at this frenetic level
Yeah.
and I'm not feeding into it anymore.
Yeah.
Right. And if they can't get out of it, if people, men, women, whoever can't get out of it, then I just listen and hold space and allow them to speak. And then hopefully my energy that surrounds me will shine on them. So, because I think we all do have that light within us. And sometimes it gets dimmed by the way we talk to ourselves, by allowing others to talk to us in a way that is not loving
Yes.
or kind. And I do think that it really does make a difference. So I do a lot of, even when I don't realize I'm doing it, I do a lot of visualization, just seeing myself surrounded by light.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, honestly, I was embarrassed.
Or
I thought, no one's going to believe me. Like, what am I saying? I am not I'm not so and so who's super good at seeing auras. I'm not so and so who's a psychic medium and sees, people who have passed. Like, I'm not that person, but I don't want to be those people. They're who they are. I'm who I am. And my gift of light and energy and love and space and healing is going to be perfect for the people that need it. And it's perfect for me, just like yours is perfect for you.
Yes.
You have it in you.
Yep.
You're giving it every day and you don't even realize it. And when you do realize it and you go, that person doesn't want this and doesn't need it. So I'm just going to hold my light in and let them go by.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Because you have to protect yourself. I realized that the hard way. I
You
had to
don't.
protect myself.
Yeah.
So
And the people that need it and will receive it well, it'll be sort of a natural thing.
100%. And they'll gravitate towards you,
Yeah.
right? For instance, your cranial sacral angel,
Yeah.
she knew you needed it.
Yeah.
She knew.
Yeah.
And she gave you that gift, right? And you're now reciprocating it. It's almost like this tether that we have with people. I feel like we're all tethered, right?
Yeah.
And some are more taught than others, but it's this tether. And my curious brain, this is what happens to me. My curious brain goes, yeah, but what happens when all the tethers like get entangled and then people can't move? And then like it's
Yeah.
this literal
Too literal.
vision
Yes.
of,
Yes.
yes, like yarn that gets, or a necklace that gets all tangled. How do you get out of that, right?
Yeah.
But it's not that. It's literally just it's light or it's
Yeah.
ethereal or whatever. So anyway,
And what a
I digress.
gift to give people your grounded self, letting them talk and
Oh,
you listen. I think that's such
yeah,
you're
it's
giving to people. So
girl, it's taken me a minute. Seriously, it's taken me a minute. I think part of it, the reason why I can't, part of this like whole journey for me too, of not being able to see facial expressions is that so that I do take a breath, right?
yeah.
Because otherwise I would see your face and be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Right?
Okay.
Or is everything okay? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like I would make up stories in my head of your, what was going on just based on your facial expression.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's not how it goes.
Yeah. Okay. Shifting gears back to something else that you said, and also in your book,
Uh
talked a little bit about anger and the paradox
huh.
and your love. And
Uh huh.
as I was reading your book, I was like, she maybe wasn't as angry or as sad as I was at times, and I was like, yeah,
Hmm.
I really admire that she was like laughing her way through a lot of this. And, I think I'm now at that place, but there were times where I was in a really deep hole and
Yeah.
people would come by. I was not my best self. I still like
Hmm.
cringe at like how I acted, I'm like, oh my God. Did you find yourself in those holes or were you laughing quite a bit of the
No, I was in deep dark holes.
yeah.
I was in deep dark holes, but I didn't want others to see it
Yeah.
as much, even those I loved my family, my immediate family, because I didn't want others to come down that hole with me, right?
Wow.
So mine were like I was so I still have this underlying layer of rage
Mhm.
that I think will always be there.
Yeah.
And anger too. I mean, those are lower level things. They were way up higher before, especially when all this happened.
Wow.
And there are flickers of it when I think back to certain things and go, well, so and so wasn't there for me. And what an asshole, right? Or, screw them. Like they aren't going to be here for me. And then I get in my head going, you know what though? They didn't need to be there for you. They were either energy vampires or, you need to just let that go. That this is not their story or their journey. This is yours.
Yeah.
And you've got to deal with that, I think we have to go through that emotion, that anger, that sadness, that fear. There's a ton of fear. So I think that's the big umbrella and then everything else is underneath it.
Wow.
And it's all about, and you're going to find times when you have that elements of the sadness and the fear pop up.
Yeah.
But now I'm sure you're learning this too. I've learned that I don't have to hold it.
Yeah.
It's like a hot potato. I'm like, nope, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. But with that being said, you don't want to dismiss it,
Right.
right? I think you have to feel the feels,
Yes.
let it go
Something I've
through you.
learned. Yes.
Yep, yep. Let it go through you and then leave. Almost like,
Mm.
so I feel like this is happening. I know for me, maybe for you, but it's like a shedding.
Yeah.
Like I'm shedding all of the things that are not serving me anymore. And it's being done to me now because I'm basically, I don't want to say forced, but this is part of the healing process is to learn how to shed and not hold on to all of that anger and rage and fear with a death grip. There might be moments when we do, when I hold on with white knuckles, like, no, because it's keeping me warm.
Yeah.
But then I think, well, so does love.
Right.
Love keeps me warm and everybody else. So, but my humor was part of my release of my anger. So, because I always had a way of, I didn't want people to think I was a jerk or was sad or mad.
No.
So I would do it with humor, like with the whole thing when the neurologist asked me, "How can we help you?"
Yeah.
I was like, fix this, first of
Right.
all. And secondly, get me a Negro Modelo and a crispy carne asada taco. Like, I'm hungry. I'm really mad because you guys are making me eat water and air because my gut is jacked up and this fucking sucks. And I want some food. I want a donut. I know I lost weight, but I want a donut. So it's that kind of stuff that
Yes.
I laugh at now,
Yeah.
but at the time I was, yeah. And music too, I mentioned in the book
Yeah.
that played a huge part, and that song Mother Mother by Tracy Bonham
Mm.
spoke everything of how I was feeling, not just at that moment, but it brought me back to college,
Uh,
like how I felt about myself in college.
yeah.
Right. And those are things that I think these experiences that we have allow us to go back and look at our younger selves and say, okay, babe, we're going to go through this again. And we're going to just look at it from a different perspective. And how can we let that go? Whatever that trauma was, look at it, face it, embrace it, and then let it go.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
anyway.
Well, and I think that maybe the anger and the sadness is all part of the spiritual awakening. Like it needs to happen.
Oh,
If we weren't angry, we'd be a little
100%.
bit weird, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, for real. Like, no. And I do think those that truly understand and love us, even though they don't think they do, they don't hold our anger against us.
Yeah.
You have to be allowed to be angry. I mean, this sucks. It sucks losing an eyeball. It sucks losing your eyesight. It sucks having a trauma happen, right? It is not cool,
Yeah.
universe. Thanks.
Right.
Right? I'm not super excited in this human form knowing that I have to get rides everywhere and I can't see if I have shit on my face or whatever. But it's also, on the flip side, you have the acceptance and the love and the presence that are way bigger if you let them, if you allow them to be. And that kind of tempers down all the other stuff.
Yeah.
It can still be there because you need it some days,
Right.
right?
You still do need it.
So,
It's a teacher
yeah.
also. Yeah.
Oh, God, yes. Yeah, absolutely.
So to wrap up, and I still feel like we have so much more to talk about, but we might need,
Yeah, totally.
as we discussed earlier, I'm starting to believe and talk to you. I think we agree that my deepest wound, losing my eye, has kind of led me to my life's purpose. And
Hmm.
for anyone listening who's standing inside their own trauma or darkness, how would you help them begin to see the possibility or the purpose or the beauty inside it? Because I
Oh,
think
God.
to me, it sounds like you've really found your life's purpose and you're living in it right now.
I think I have. I also think I'm still trying to not accept it, but
Mm.
oh, maybe accept it, right? Because there's still a little piece of me that goes, is this really what you're supposed to do? Like, will people actually want to hear what you have to say? Do you sound like you're a goofball, right? But I do. I think that, so I read a line once. It came from a book that my daughter's boyfriend loves.
Mm.
And it's the Red Rising series.
Okay.
So crazy. It's a fantasy novel. It's kind of dark, a little bit dystopian. But there was a line in there, a few words that totally resonated with me and I think are appropriate for this. So through tragedy comes wisdom. And it's so true, right? Had this not happened to me or to you, we wouldn't be where we're at now, right? I've said it before. But I do think that it has allowed me to drop the masks that I was wearing, to be my true self. And she's pretty flippin' cool.
That.
She's got some cool things to say because she's not listening to her ego anymore. I mean, there are days I do, don't get me wrong, but I'm listening to my soul, I'm listening to my spirit, my heart. And so, yeah, I totally forget your question.
I think you're answering it. I think you're saying to people, it like allows you to shed your
Yeah.
ego and live in your soul.
Yeah. And your heart,
And
right?
heart.
There's
Wow.
there's a beautiful place there. And it's going to be really hard for people because it seems so foreign
Right.
to do that.
Right.
And so silly, but I need my brain and my ego to get me through life. Well, yeah, you do. But you also, like, your ability to really tap into your spirit and what is guiding you will will show you things that you never would have imagined. And if you allow them, right, you trust in this process, believe in the possibilities that can happen from it, and then accept the path that you're on, it could be pretty cool,
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yes.
I truly believe that.
It could lead you to your life's purpose.
100%. And this might be something that you never, ever, 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 ever thought. I never thought I would be, well, first of all, blind.
Yeah.
And I just for the record, it took me 2 years to actually say blind.
The V word,
I couldn't do it.
as you call it in
Yeah.
the book. Yeah.
Yeah, don't say the B word. But I do. And then, I never thought I would be putting myself out there online, sharing my story, writing a book, narrating the audiobook that actually just came out. Well, it's been out, but it came out yesterday on
Oh, so
Audible.
cool.
And
Congratulations.
yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So, and then, all the other stuff, meeting people, speaking to groups about my story. And, I have those moments. I don't know about you, but I have those moments where I just go, does anybody else want to hear this story? Like, it's getting old,
I know.
everybody. There's got to be
I'm
something
like sick
new.
myself. Totally.
Yes. Yes. I am annoyed by myself. But then, there are people that need to hear it.
Yeah.
Right? Others need it because their soul, their spirit gravitates towards you or I or whoever, right?
Yeah.
Because they need to hear that message, whatever that looks like, right? However it comes across for them, they need to hear that message to help them take the next step forward in their life.
Yeah.
Or stand in their moment and be present and just look at their life the way it is, or what, or not just their life, but like what their story is saying or becoming. So yeah.
Oh, that's so good. I'm gonna read my conclusion. So I'm gonna take my glasses
Of course.
here. But
Okay, I can totally not see you, but you look amazing.
thank you so much. You look amazing. I
Thanks.
do think we need a part 2 because I have more questions, and I hope that's okay with you.
100. Yeah, I'm all in.
But I just thank you so much for sharing not just the story of losing your eyesight, but the story of finding your soul. Your journey
Thank
reminds
you.
us that sometimes the thing that breaks us is also the thing that opens us, that we don't have to see with our eyes to understand what's true, and that healing isn't something we chase, it's something we allow, or as you said, surrender to.
Mhm.
For anyone listening who is walking through loss or uncertainty, may Jamie's story remind you, you are guided, you are held, and you can rise even from here. Please check out her book, Should Have Seen That Coming. I really enjoyed it. I laughed, I cried. It reminded me of the journey that my soul is on. And thank you for joining me on In the Blink. Until next time, keep your heart open, your spirit curious, and your soul awake.